here today. It's top against bottom in the Gallagher Premiership. These hardy fans will be getting their teeth into it in a few moments' time. Bath have lost Ted Hill and Josh Bayliss to injury for the moment, so they're relying on the back row quality of men like Miles Reed and Alfie Barbary, happily now fit and ready to make good on his vast promise. At lock, Charlie Ewell's described as like a new signing by Johan van Graan after his short spell in South Africa with the Bulls, a reinvigorating trip. That front row will take no prisoners. Thomas du Toit, their headline scrum signing. No secret that Finn Russell stole all the headlines, and he settled really quickly here, already bringing his brand of sorcery to the back line. His partnership with Spencer, potential dynamite, so too Redpath and a Jomo in the midfield. Now the Tigers, with so many players still on World Cup duty, big news for them. The return to the open side for Tommy Raffel, until recently causing havoc at the breakdown for Wales. A timely return because they lost Ollie Cracknell and Kyle Hatherall to injury this week. So Raffel at 7, Matt Rogerson restored at number 8, Harry Wells back at lock, James Cronin drafted in on the loose head. The halfbacks remain in place, Whiteley and Shilcock preferred for the moment to Powell and Atkinson. And in fact, the whole of the back line left untouched. Kelly and Porter in the centres, Mike Brown and Ollie Hassel-Collins both on the score sheet last weekend against Sale. So to the cosy confines of the Bath away dressing room. Tigers much improved last week against Sale, but Dan McKellar still searching for his first Premiership win. They are missing a lot of numbers. Sale just had a little bit too much for them at Welford Road, but there was a much greater intent and purpose to their work. In the meantime, Bath running hot. The fans here daring to dream. Yes, very early days, but 2 from 2, sitting on top of the Premiership table, looking down when they've become unwillingly accustomed to sitting at the bottom, looking up. 2 bonus point wins over Newcastle here, Saracens away. And when you combine that with their excellent finish to last season, they've now taken 30 points from their last 30 available. I think, as Johan van Graan said in the week, the ship has turned. There's a long way still to go, Philippa, but the ship has turned, and Tigers will provide a decent test here this afternoon.
Oh, what a fantastic opportunity for them to really challenge themselves against a team, like you say, the Tigers, that aren't quite firing as best as they have been, but still, you can only play the opposition that's in front of you. And I think the most pleasing thing for Van Graan is the way that Bath finished, and now they've continued, they've built on it, and it could be a really exciting season for them.
Great excitement in these parts, certainly. There always is when Leicester come to town. And they need to find that bite even more than they found last week. Really struggling to find their customary gain line punch. They will be that much better on the floor for the likes of Tommy Raffel. But the return of men like Montoya, Visa, Chesham, they really can't come soon enough, you feel, for Leicester. Good things happening in this Bath squad at the moment. The vibe is strong, confidence is back, belief, that intangible in sport, and as we know, it is so significant for every single player that takes the field. They are now beginning to believe that they can be the sum of their parts.
Yeah, they certainly can, and with that man's smile and that man's game-breaking ability, Finn Russell, they've got the magician that they needed. There's similar parallels between Leicester a couple of years ago when they were in the doldrums. They came back, came through it. Some young guys got tough experiences and they ended up winning the Premiership. Same for Bath. You go back a couple of years and these young players, the likes of a Jomo, they've had some tough times in this Bath jersey, but as you said, they've won 30 of their last 30 points in the Prem. They've got that guy, Finn Russell, pulling the strings. There's a feel-good factor around the wreck. It could be their year, and they've started pretty well in the Premiership so far with him at the helm.
I just wonder what the conditions will do to tactics and strategy. I'm tempted to suggest that that maybe just brings the Tigers into things a little bit more. We know that Finn Russell is still going to play, Philippa. He's still going to look for those offloads. He's still going to look to put width on the ball if possible.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing inhibits Finn Russell. And you know what? Previous season, you would say this would be Tigers' game due to this conditions, very wet, keep it tight. But actually, their gain line success, their carries, their physical dominance hasn't been there. So I'm not sure it will have as much impact as it has in previous seasons.
Jack Makepeace is our referee. There's his first blast on the whistle, and Jamie Shilcock will get us started for the Tigers. And everybody's missed that. It's gone into touch via the bounce in field, and that is a Bath line out just outside their 22. Shilcock, who played actually for Bath against Leicester last season, his one appearance having moved from Worcester. Big old job today in that 10 shirt. And already Tom Dunn taking extra precautions at line out time. Up they go through Fergus Lee-Warner, and Miles Reid immediately putting Alfie Barbary on the ball. So good to see Barbary fit and tearing into opposition defences. Extraordinary talent that hopefully will begin to flourish now that he's shaken off injury woes. But having been taken into the 22 and fired into touch, Bath have rather made a mess of that.
Yeah, not an ideal start from Bath, really. Sort of commend them for getting the ball off the top and running it into that short channel at the back of the line out. But then game management in these conditions, Ben Spencer, you've got to know where you're sitting and where the rock is. A real error to gift Leicester field position this early on and expect the drive now from the Tigers.
Prime position for Leicester. Up goes Cam Henderson, not clean. Raphael does the tidying work. Been exceptional for Wales in recent weeks at the World Cup. Whiteley putting pace onto it, bringing in Cronin, his first appearance of the season. Harry Wells carrying it up. Met well by Barbary, who was just an inch or two away from a clean gather on the jackal, but not rolling away here. Bath penalised, and Shilcock eyeing up the corner, I suspect.
There we are. Yeah. Shot.
No, shot called.
That's quite interesting for me, because you've seen compounding errors from Bath. They really had them rattled going back. And yet, I personally would have thought they would have gone for the juggler there, gone for the line out, because as much as we've been talking about Leicester not having that bread and butter of that carrying game, their set piece has been on point this season. It's quite surprising for me they've gone for the shot.
Yeah, I just think this weather, I'm a boring old tent. Take the 3. Or hopefully take the 3 if you're Jamie Shilcock. And you're starting 3-0 up after nearly 3 minutes.
Rain seems to be intensifying almost with every minute that passes. So nothing is a gimme, even though this should very much be within the Shilcock compass. So it proves. Tigers in front after 3 minutes, leading by 3 points to 0.
A good early confidence booster there for Jamie Shilcock. Obviously came into the team last week. Bounced around a few clubs since the demise of Worcester. Really impressive every time I see him play. Lovely left foot. And to get a fairly straightforward penalty to start the game, he'll be pretty happy.
There's Mike Brown. He knows he's in for a busy afternoon. Excellent clearance from the veteran fullback. Leapfrogging Steve Borthwick this afternoon, moving into 3rd on the all-time Premiership appearance list. And you'd say Danny would be itching to get home to keep his nose in front there. Maybe even the Wigglesworth target for Mike Brown. Who knows? He wouldn't put it past him. Done. All the way over the top to Barbary. And through that first tackle over the gain line.
Touched. It's touched.
In comes Hassel-Collins. Got up really well. Came down hard. Miles Reid.
You're offside for a start, and the ball is still in.
A little over-eager.
Oh, that's a bit frustrating for me. First of all, backing their ambition to throw that ball way over in these conditions. Beautiful carry. And then why not go wide, keep the ball? They had the Leicester's defence. They weren't organised because they weren't expecting that ball over the top. So just kick it away and not, you know, that wasn't the most competitive. Look, players hanging around, plenty of time to get under there. That's keeping away possession for me.
Yeah, it's a brilliant take from Hassel Collins there, isn't it? Actually cleans out his teammate there as well. But discipline in this weather is going to be absolutely crucial. Seems like you're stating the obvious, which I do most of the time, but with the rain coming down like cats and dogs, Leicester again being gifted field position by an error from Miles.
And the line-out ball secure via Liebenberg, and the drive is good. It's trademark Tigers, this. Looking solid, and Bath beginning to splinter. Rafael sets it back. Cronin calling for assistance. And it's been ripped away. Miles Reid drops on it for Bath. Big moment for the home side after these early pressurised minutes. Shilcock. Pathway blocked on the inside. Brought down by Lee Warner.
Hold.
Rogerson restored at number 8. No Hatherall, no Cracknell this week for Leicester. A couple of unfortunate injuries, timing-wise, particularly given the absence of the likes of Jasper Wiese. Russell claims it for Bath.
Let's go. Hold. No one!
Big punch from Thomas du Toit. The big signing up front from Johan van Graan this summer.
Let's go now, Ben.
Not just from a set-piece perspective, also from a leadership perspective, he was saying in the week. Former Sharks captain. Brown goes to ground on the 10-metre line. Cronin getting through a lot of work in the loose early on. Shilcock, pressure from Reid, really good, strong pressure, but the kick is an excellent one, and there's work to be done here. Picked up by Spencer, nearly got away, scragged by Wells. Russell. Trying to split the two in the backfield, and Brown has all bases covered.
Strap yourselves in, folks. We're going to see a lot of kicking this afternoon, aren't we? Whether it's box kicks to compete, crossfield kicks in the air, and whoever is going to rule those airwaves, that guy Mike Brown's going to be imperative for Leicester. But we saw Josh Bassett get after that crossfield kick and win the tap down. It fell to Ben Spencer. You can see the clear tactics from both teams. Nothing's going to change in this weather. So it's who dominates that area best and who's got the most discipline around the breakdown that's going to probably win this game.
Let's go now. Let's go. No, you can stand in the line out.
Well, the breakdown's been something of an issue for the Tigers in the last couple of weeks. They've conceded an awful lot of turnovers. 21 of them against Bristol on the opening weekend. Under pressure here from the Bath surge. Redpath takes it on. Shilcock waiting for him. Du Toit met well by Rogerson, but he stayed on his feet and driven that extra metre or so. The delay from Spencer trying to get Singer onto the ball. That is a big work on for Bath this season. Got to get the big man onto the ball, preferably in space. Spencer has to fire it out in an unorthodox fashion, and Tigers regain possession.
Stop in front, Tommy.
Shilcock.
Thank you.
Tester for Singer. A little bit of space in front of him, and he takes on all comers. Kelly goes low. One, two. Abano. Thumping tackle from Rogerson. Russell. Little delay, and Dunn is caught early. Russell again keen for that width, and Ojomo just spills on the gather, and Leicester able to draw confidence from that.
There was half a hole there, wasn't there, for that man Max Ojomo. Bit frustrated because he saw it. Finn smiling. Even in this weather, you know Finn's going to have a smile. He's going to look for those edges to attack on. You just see it here. He's picked his line slightly behind him. You see the Leicester defence. Hanro Liebenberg just in front, which opens up that slight dog leg, but these weather conditions are going to be tough.
It's always going to be a period of adjustment, Philippa, when you bring a man like Finn Russell into the environment. But for people like Max Ojomo and Cam Redpath, of course, will have experience from Scottish camps also, but they're going to need to learn how to read, as best you can read, Finn Russell.
And you know what, a player like that, because he's so exciting, it's because he's reactional. He very much reads, feels, however you want to call it, what's in front of him. So sometimes that can make it really hard to read. The only way that you'll start to pick up those little messages, body language, footwork, turning of the hips, is just time. Playing with them, playing quite often touch rugby as well, because that's just really fast-paced, really reactional game. So there'll probably be a lot of that happening in the training camp. But that little error then, it's quite often happen when there's a missed pass in front of a player between the passer and the receiver. Quite often you can find players will overrun because they can't see the person that's passing to them, and I think that's just what happened then.
Such a thrilling talent to have in this league. Family man now. Finn Russell, a dad, a Scotland captain, and the responsibilities in that defensive channel there dealt with effectively. Kelly brought down and the ball dislodged.
That's actually one thing people don't talk about Finn Russell, his ability in defence and how he puts his body in the way, makes good technical tackles, and he hits as hard as a lot of other 10s around the world. But because of his flair, it's undervalued, and that's technically a perfect tackle. Wouldn't have ever seen me go that low as a 10.
And especially with Finn not being the biggest guy, you know, he's powerful within the ratio of his body, but he's not that huge kind of Johnny Wilkinson that had a chest bigger than the back row. He's a slight guy, so he has to be technically on point, but still not to take away anything from his technique, because he is spot on.
It's the calmness as well, isn't it? It's the composure and the confidence. Yes, there's a swagger, but it's born of belief, and that's infectious in a good way. A tidy pickup from Gallagher, picked out by Brown.
Yeah, everyone's on.
Russell.
11, stop! Stop!
Yeah, really good clearance kick there from Ollie Hassel-Collins. There's going to be a lot of kick tennis. A lot of left feet out there as well. Mike Brown's left, Hassel-Collins left. We saw Gallagher put his left through there as well. Got to be able to kick long in these conditions, and Hassel-Collins up to the task then. Found good ground to clear his lines.
Nicely claimed by Charlie Ewells. His read once again bringing in Barbary on that short angle.
Push, push. Touched.
Brown taking charge, or trying to. It's gone forwards, and Reid has it out of the back door. Was that forwards? Picked up by Lee Warner. On they go again. Dutoy trying to rummage his way towards that 22. Tom Dunn caught in possession. Excellent Tigers defending here for the time being. Redpath. Passage blocked. Russell, little dab forwards, awkward, and Brown is onto it, and Gallagher couldn't quite find a way through, but Bath will have the put into the scrum after the knock-on, and they can apply some proper pressure here for the first time in a meaningful part of the pitch. Now then, we've been waxing lyrical about Finn Russell. What about one of the other biggest stars to enter the Gallagher Premiership? Virimi Vakatawa for the Bristol Bears has announced himself. Ashton Gate, Bristol against Harlequins, and Quins taking an early lead. Vakatawa, his first Premiership try. We're blessed to have the likes of Vakatawa and Russell playing across the next 8 months or so.
Yeah, and you know what? There are so many players that people are going to start to recognise from the World Cup that maybe they hadn't seen before as well. Teams that maybe internationally they don't follow, they've had the opportunity to see them and they'll start picking them out. But yes, two fantastic additions in Finn Russell and Vakatawa.
That game, by the way, kicked off at 2:30 at Ashton Gate. The other game ongoing in the league between Exeter and Sale was a 3 o'clock kickoff, similar to this one.
The winger's gone way past
and we'll keep you updated with the best of the scores from both of those venues this afternoon.
Come on.
It's interesting with Finn Russell, and a mark of the man. He came straight back from the World Cup, didn't he? And wanted to come straight into training on the Monday, Tuesday after Scotland's exit. You really earn your respect to your teammates coming back from something that quick. He could have gone to Dubai on holiday, somewhere like that. No, he fancies the rain and a Saturday afternoon here in Bath.
He loves it.
Just hope he closes the doors and the windows on his Lamborghini.
What an opportunity here to stamp their mark on proceedings. Russell, crossfield, open spaces, Muir! So simple, but only because of the clinical execution of the Bath maestro. Finn Russell with the accuracy, and Will Muir piling forwards into the corner.
And that is why he gets paid enough to afford a Lamborghini. I mean, in this weather as well, we talk about passing and that can be hindered, but actually your kicking can be hindered as well, especially in something like that needs to be pinpoint cross-field. Beautiful play here, nice set piece, strong platform. So it was an easy ball for Finn to take, but pinpoint accuracy on that cross-field.
Yeah, you'd be disappointed if you're Josh Bassett. He's in sort of no man's land there. You've got to keep your eye on your winger. Will Muir hugging the touchline. Josh Bassett's come in.
All clear, mate.
You can see Mike Brown at the back as well. He's more central.
No, I was about to say that.
And because of Finn's boxer tricks, Mike Brown has to understand the chip space as much as the crossfield kick space. You can only mark one.
Everything I need to do.
Josh Bassett has found himself completely out of position there, and a bit of magic from Finn Russell creates our first try this afternoon.
That's the only thing I've got.
Quite enough curl on that from Finn Russell, but he's put Bath in front. Thanks to that crossfield kick, he leads by 5 points to 3.
They're in the corners.
And Will Muir, the beneficiary, having scored against the Falcons a couple of weeks ago. Delighted to find space in that wide channel.
That's the thing, you switch off half a second against Finn Russell and he'll find the hole, find the gap. Josh Bassett will look back on that and be pretty frustrated.
Hold.
What an easy finish in the end in terms of the space that they created, but hardest place to defend from a centre field scrum, and even harder when you've got magician Finn Russell.
I guess that's the point, isn't it? There's that triple threat from Russell in that area, which probably accounts for the tightness of the defending from the Tigers. They're so worried about what's going to come through the middle that if you are Will Muir and you can somehow hide yourself for a short period of time, you might be in the money.
Yeah, but if you're an open winger and you're numbered up 3-on-3 on that side, you've got to keep your eye on your winger, bottom line. So, error from Josh Bassett, beautifully executed by Finn Russell.
Here's Kelly for Porter. Porter, who picked up what seemed to be quite an awkward injury last week, but he's recovered very effectively. Hassel-Collins turns well. Great pick up from Shilcock, down on his shoelaces. Reed and Ewell's firing after him. Gallagher under the high ball, calls for the mark.
Maybe a couple of metres too long there on that kick, giving Bath the opportunity to call that mark, get that reset. Otherwise, could have been a really nice attacking play. There was plenty of good chase on it.
A hefty boot. Taking play up towards halfway from Matt Gallagher. Not involved last week. It was de Glanville who occupied the 15 shirt a week ago, but Gallagher with lots of credit in the bank from last season, and of course his time under Van Graan at Munster.
You've got to set the front of the line out. It makes it a lot easier. There we go.
Henderson with the call, but Lee Warner with the disruption, and Dunn is onto it for Bath.
Timing.
Spencer, another tester for Hassel-Collins. He's not managed to find a way through to it. Whiteley, a little bit undecided.
Hands on the ground first. Off you go,
That, incidentally, the first line-out that the Tigers have lost on their own ball this season. It's been a very slick operation. Rafael to Rogerson. Great work from Matt Rogerson. Seems to be an ideal fit for the Leicester Tigers, former London Irish skipper. Gallagher.
Stay still.
Another one for Brown to field. Good work from Singer.
There we go.
Here's Russell. This is one for Big Joe. He's not quite got the distance on that. Knocked back effectively by Brown. Whiteley, and that, I think, has come off Spencer, so that'll be a Tigers line out.
Yeah, it's got to go 5. It's got to go 5 metres.
It was really good chase there from Matt Gallagher, running at the inside of Mike Brown, forcing him to put that clearance kick in, but then it was just the return didn't quite work out for Bath, and they very much ended on the losing battle of that aerial game.
Andrew, he needs to be slightly closer. There we go.
There's a man with a remarkable international strike rate who must be eyeing up a place in the Six Nations squad to come.
Same role.
If he can stay fit, all things are possible. Tigers making slow progress. It slipped through the fingers of Whiteley, and Bath will have the scrum.
Yeah, it was a good initial drive, wasn't it, from the Tigers, but it's just these little errors. Once you've got front foot ball, once you are driving forward, it is a bar of soap out there, so it's very difficult.
Let's go.
And the line out is slightly underthrown, but then they get in good body positions, don't they? See how low they are. They've shorn out to the side. Just wonder whether Tom Dunn came in from the back there. There's the little knock on from Whiteley just as he goes to pick it up, and that's frustrating. And we're going to see a lot more of that in this game, aren't we, with the weather conditions as they are.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Big old tussle, and Bath just about doing enough. It's Barbary who thumps it away, and it's Bassett who's underneath it. Hassel-Collins, enough of the kicking. Time to run. But also time to try and hold on to it. The referee doesn't consider that a knock-on. The Tigers making a right mess of their own ball. Reed stretching his legs and getting through the gain line beyond halfway. Barbary arrives. And a neck roll lets Leicester off the hook.
Yeah, that's a brilliant tackle from Dan Kelly, because we've seen Miles Reed in the Premiership. He has sheer pace on him. could have finished that from the halfway. This is the neck roll. You just see Ben Spencer on Tommy Raffel. Tommy Raffel's brilliant at the breakdown, the body positions he gets himself in to turn balls over. So it is a penalty, but brilliant tackle from Dan Kelly. Otherwise, Miles Reid was gone.
And it's that split-second decision, isn't it? Because Ben Spencer arrives there, sees him as a threat and clears him out. But actually, Tommy Revell had hands on the floor. Now, although it's not illegal to have your hands on the floor, you've got to be portraying that you are supporting your own body weight without your hands on the floor. And to me, he was leaning quite far forward. The referee was in a good vision. That could have been a penalty for Bath.
And that's a Welsh person going against another Welsh person. Well, I never. But you're right, Philippa, you are right.
It's a constant blurred line, isn't it?
It's very blurred. It's all down to interpretation.
They operate in the blurry areas, the sevens. We know that all too well. In the meantime, a shot at goal from 50 metres out will be more than that on the angle. Distance is there without any trouble at all, and so too the accuracy. An excellent kick from Jamie Shilcock.
No, I think it's a good contest.
And the Tigers lead by a single point now after 23 minutes.
Yeah, I can't speak highly enough of that strike there from Jamie Shilcock. Underfoot conditions here at the Rec are always difficult. As we know, we're next to the River Avon. It is a sticky, muddy ground underfoot, and to get the strike from halfway, just inside his own half, a pure strike as well. Brilliant from Jamie Shilcock.
What a clearance that is from Brown. Gallagher, I think, thought about trying to take that and then decided otherwise. He's just the man for a day like today, isn't he? He's a day for all occasions, but particularly in these sort of conditions.
Yeah, time off.
He's your goalkeeper.
Yeah, he is. Brilliant guy as well. Looks angry all the time. Nicest guy off the field.
Yeah.
But he's that ultimate competitor, isn't he?
How many?
And that's what you need at the back sometimes in conditions like this. He'll be ranting and raving at his back three. He'll be wanting to get the best out of everyone, but
5 in the line.
when you ask him about his skill set, he's always on the money under the high ball. Brilliant competitor. Just sometimes a little bit too angry.
And you know what? I know he's been in the Premiership for a million years, but I actually didn't know how old he was until I did my stats this morning.
I hope he's not listening.
But it's in credit, it's in compliment. He's 38 years old and he's still sparky. He's still got his agility, he's still got his pace. I mean, you can quite often see forwards going into their later 30s, but quite often in the backs it's a bit more cutthroat. You've got to keep that dynamism about you, and I'm absolute credit. I'm highlighting it so he hopefully will get some more compliments for it.
Couple more seasons in him, surely.
He told me he wants to go to until he's 45, so he's he's leaving it all out there. He wants Wiggy's record. He wants that Premiership appearance record of Richard Wigglesworth at the minute. So a brilliant competitor, brilliant bloke.
Claimed by Ewells. And now Miles Reid on the attack. The collisions are not for the faint-hearted, but the ball has been stolen, and it's Cam Henderson who's protecting it for Whiteley. Rogerson, Shilcock, Kelly. Through the hands of Porter. Brown with plenty to do. And he's done plenty. Held in the maul. But in the eyes of the referee, his knees are on the deck.
Knees are clearly on the ground.
Yeah, he's pointing at his knee as the referee. Joe Thokanasinger came in to try and finish the tackle off. You can see Mike Brown. I'm not sure his knees are down there. There it is. Is it?
No.
He's just been absolutely burgled, but maybe the referee, Jack Makepeace, had called tackle as well. How strong was Thokanasinger there, though?
Not where the offence was.
Well, he's pretty disgruntled now, but I guess that initial challenge Brown was able to slip past, so he was doing the secondary job on that occasion. Thokanasinger, and Bath might pay here. The rain has eased off. Tigers have punched it into the 22, and they can start to set up something meaningful in their happy place.
Yeah, we just saw the stat there of the penalty count. Bath have conceded 4 penalties. Leicester are yet to concede a penalty, and with the weather as it has been and the conditions and how the game's being played. That discipline is absolutely crucial.
New pair of shorts for Harry Wells. And straight up in the air is Hanro Liebenberg, and a quick transfer, and here's Charlie Clare on the move. Lovely this from the Tigers, really swift. Whiteley to Cronin. Big tackles piling in. Liebenberg again, outstanding last week. And now then, Shilcock couldn't quite find the man. Bassett has done an excellent job mopping that up. Whiteley surely has fumbled that. Backwards in the eyes of Jack Makepeace. Rogerson. Liebenberg again, moving it swiftly, changing that point of attack. And Shilcock this time, struggling to handle the soap.
Yeah, as much as their discipline in regards to penalties has been really good, they are leading the stats on the handling errors, unfortunately. That was going to be really frustrating for these Tigers fans, especially after last week where, you know, it could have been their game for the taking. Gifting away opportunities like this, working so hard to get into strike attacking position.
Bring back the gloves, lads.
Do you have a patent on those?
Yeah, they looked awful. Still can't believe I wore them for that long. But
you know what? That is one of my biggest memories of you as a player. Apart from your obscene skill set, of course, was the gloves.
I'm glad that's the biggest, yeah. I was big in other ways that weren't as flattering, but there we go. Back to this game.
Here's Barbary once again trying to take his chance from the base. Dutoy being employed as a heavy carrier as well. Why wouldn't you?
Push, push, no you're not. No you're not, thank you.
Spencer.
Your feet is not onside.
All eyes on Mike Brown, and Fokanasiga might have got a touch on that. Still there to be won. It's anyone's. It's Tom Dunn's. Russell wants to strike quick. Oh, tricky one. Brilliantly gathered by Jomo. Yules. Tigers have now given up a penalty. The first of the day against Leicester after 28.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's good refereeing as well from Jack Makepeace. Conditions like this, we want to see the ball away from the breakdown, but you have to monitor the offside lines. Leicester there have been pushing it to the edge. That means they can fly off the line and put pressure on Finn Russell. Unfortunately, missed touch.
And the flag has not gone up. It's been kept in by Bassett. It needs some help. Liebenberg arrives. Handful of Bath supporters thought that was forwards. And then touch is found, but it's taken quickly again by Russell for Gallagher. And the penalty has gone Leicester's way. Not releasing here, Gallagher, a little bit isolated. And so a slightly sloppy passage from the home team. What a job Josh Bassett did here.
Yeah, outstanding work. See, jumps from outside the field, lands inside. That means that the ball obviously doesn't cross the line, but this work here at the breakdown, it's Hanro Liebenberg. Gets a hand on it, a lift. Interestingly, Shilcock not going for the 3 points this time, from a very similar position where he slotted his last long-range penalty. And this is where Leicester need, they've had opportunities down here. They haven't been able to put pressure on Bath's defence and go through phases. Wouldn't surprise me if we're going for a big drive now. The last one came off the top with a back peel. And then Leicester end up spilling it. They're taking their time, though.
Certainly are. This is an area the referees are supposed to be tightening. Too much dead time. As forwards make their way into the line-out. They're ready now, and Clare sends it up, but Liebenberg has lost it. And Lee Warner floats that one out to Russell. He won't thank him for that. And a big counter drive from Leicester, but they've come off their feet in the process. And Russell and Bath are off the hook. And maybe there's still a smile there. He's smiling on the outside. I'm wondering if he's smiling on the inside.
Yeah, it was a bit of a hospital pass, wasn't it? Annoying though for Tigers fans, especially coach Dan McKellar, Tigers so far have one of the worst success rates in the 22. They get themselves there, but they're not converting. And that just adds to not a very nice stat for Leicester Tigers.
Yeah, I think it was Cam Henderson just going off his feet there. Once they'd won the collision, a little bit overexcited, trying to pile through, but you have to stay on your feet. And that man, Finn, but there's never not a smile on his face, is there? What a guy.
A man happy in his workplace. And the line-out ball has been won against the head, and here's Rogerson looking for support. Rafael is there. Shilcock wants it. Little dab forwards into that space. The short kicking game, which is so dangerous on days like this, potentially. Redpath takes it in for Bath.
Nice, all back. Doesn't knock it on. Where you are.
Spencer, a lot of hang time again, not quite the distance downfield he would have been after, but Thokinasinger did well to get up to that. McNally leaves it, and I think Russell has knocked that on, so Leicester again profit. It's a little bit scrappy, needless to say, in these sort of conditions. Nothing is easy, not everything is sticking. Don't forget tonight, some boxing for you on TNT box office. 6 o'clock start for Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou from Saudi Arabia. Fury up against the former UFC heavyweight champion, big underdog. 6 o'clock tonight on TNT box office. And then tomorrow we're up at Kingston Park, Newcastle against Saints from 2:30. Adam Radwan making his 100th appearance. If you didn't see his try from last week, go and find it. It is sensational. And all of the scores, all the tries, all the hits, all the breaks, all the good stuff, part of the rugby review tomorrow from 5:15. Scrum advantage here to the Tigers. Full-blown penalty now. So well within the range of Jamie Shilcock, even allowing for some filthy conditions. Let's have a word with Johan van Graan, the Director of Rugby with Bath, of course. Johan, difficult conditions for both sides. What's your assessment of the opening half hour or so?
Yeah, difficult conditions. We've made too many errors in the middle of the pitch. We've got to get field position. I think that's what both teams are looking for. Big aerial battle, so a lot of ball on the floor. We've got to be better on that.
And in terms of the instructions for a guy like Finn, we know he likes to play, we know he likes ambition and adventure. Does he need to be reined in on a day like this, or do you let him do exactly as he does and trust that he makes those judgment calls?
Yeah, trust your 9 and trust your 10. Trust the players on the pitch. We've got to adapt to conditions. Brilliant. There, just got to make sure that we win the middle of the field.
Yeah, sensational. Talk to you, Johan. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Ali.
Tigers with another 3 from Shilcock, 100% from the boot of the Tigers. 10, they lead to 5.
Yeah, he's having a well-balanced game, isn't he, Jamie Shilcock, kicking his goals nicely. I hope that's not the commentator's curse, but I've spoken a lot about Finn Russell. Jamie Shilcock having a very calm one at the minute as well at 10.
Let's go.
Here's Rogerson.
No, driven through. Ben, push. Straight up. Let's go. Cheers, mate.
A lot of tricky high balls for the back threes this afternoon. Gallagher defused another of the leaders in the Bath pack, former London Irish skipper. Chase on here for Muir.
Off his head, play on.
Once again, no one able to take that clean, so work for Brown.
Another one. No, off the foot, forward, play on. Off the foot. Right, let's go now.
Tell you one man that will be loving this if he is back in Bath already, Steve Borthwick. A lot of kicking, a lot of chasing. He lives in the vicinity, doesn't he?
Surely he's not made it, has he?
He loves his rugby. Watches a lot of it, doesn't he? He'll be salivating at these box kicks.
Here's another one from Ben Spencer. Up goes Brown again. The obstruction is the call. Not allowing the on-rushing Bath players to get through. It seems to me it's a really important element the referees keep their eye on here, because the escorting has become a real art form from every different side, but on that occasion Liebenberg clearly moving across his line and blocking the man.
Absolutely, yeah. Player number 6 there, he changes his direction. Now all players can chase for the ball, and if they happen to be in the way of an attacking player, that's absolutely fine, but as soon as you change your direction, so you're doing something that's not you trying to get the ball, basically, it's an obstruction.
Will Muir with a nasty gash. Oh, hello.
Sevens field, England Sevens Player of the Year 2019, had an incredible record on the World Series, and you don't often get to see those 7 superstars transition to the 15s game, but I think he is one of the shining examples. It took a bit of time, but he's got there now.
On the shoulder that you're looking at, the other one's
Max Ajomo loved a dive in the deep end as well, didn't he?
That was too complicated to explain at the time.
Just think he's going to need some treatment for that. That looks like it needs stitches. I'm no doctor, but the way that looks, I would suggest that would be the smart move. So on comes Orlando Bailey. Nasty cut.
The clock started.
Only came back a month ago after a year out with knee trouble, but we know the threat that he can pose to opposition defences. Terrific attacking talent, and the same can be said for Orlando Bailey, who will, for the most part, you would expect, play a second fiddle role to Finn Russell, but there will be plenty of opportunities through the season for him.
So what you, Lou said,
they will. This is actually crucial for Finn Russell.
And then
hasn't started well
so I think he's
off
just
the deck this season.
The whole thing just
33%.
And then they started going forward.
In these conditions, you have to take your 3 points when they're on offer.
He's measured that nicely. And Bath back within a point with a couple of minutes to play in this opening half.
That was 2 mark.
Celebrities in the house. Cricketing greats. Jimmy Anderson and, of course, Jack Leach, who is very much in that bracket after his one not out in the Ashes a couple of years ago. And Greg James is with us too, long-time Bath supporter, Radio 1 presenter. Barbary swivels and turns and drops, but drops backwards.
We blaming Jimmy Anderson for bringing the rain down from Manchester.
Ben, let's go. Not now, let's go.
It's a little harsh. I think he'd just be happy to be well clear of India in the England campaign in the Cricket World Cup, I'm guessing. Excellent clearance here. And Spencer urging intensity as they close out this half. Nip and tuck throughout. Extraordinary goings-on at Sandy Park, by the way.
Huddles, let's go, no huddles.
Chiefs are leading Sale 29-0. There's only 2 points between Bristol and Harlequins at Ashton Gate. Quins 20 points to 18 up there. Liebenberg, that's gone forward surely from Cronin. Not in the eyes of Jack Makepeace.
It is a knock-on. Thank you, mate.
But yes, from Rowan Kidd, our television match official. So Bath, with the put into the scrum, it'll most likely be the final play of the 4-seat.
But you know what, even if they don't come away with points from this, just those little wins, that psychological edge now going into the sheds, knowing that you're on top and you've got an element of hold on this game. That's not to be undervalued.
Yeah, that line-out has become a bit of an issue for Leicester. 3 lost line-outs now in the first half. Nick Dolly on the bench. Just wondering whether it's the structure of the line-out, slight underthrows, good defence from Bath, or a concoction of all of it. Certainly in these conditions, something that Leicester need to sharpen up at half-time.
No, let's just get it right. Do you want to...
Five seasons with Racing, and everybody hopes that he will be the catalyst to the good times here.
Bind! Set!
Clock deep in the reds. Spencer wants to play. Russell too. Here's Stock and a Singer coming bustling through the midfield. Lee Warner heading to the Waratahs before too long. Fergus Lee Warner. Here's Du Toit. Russell thought about trying to thread that pass through, but it wasn't on, so he clung on wisely. Spencer. Backwards off Bath. Spencer still keen to play. Long-range drop goal effort nowhere near. But why not? With the clock deep in the red, knowing it was going to run dead. And the Tigers, rather against the odds, coming into today's contest, leading by a point, thanks to the kicking of Jamie Shilcock. 3 from 3 from the tee. The only try scored by Will Muir, thanks to a wonderful crossfield kick from the magician, Finn Russell. Half-time at the Rack, Bath 8, Leicester 9. Both sides ready to go, and Will Muir back with us. Face patched, stitches in, and a job to do here for Bath, who trail by a point, and Finn Russell sends it into the 22. Interesting option to let that one drop from Shilcock, and that's been deflected by Will Muir. It's landed with Cronin. Rafel's trying his hand, it's all going off, and nobody's got control really of anything right now. Maybe Thomas Du Toit can change that for Bath. Whipped away to Russell, looking for territory, not quite the angle on the kick, and Whiteley is anticipating nicely and giving a little bit of space for the Tigers just beyond the 10-metre line.
Yeah, a bit of a comical start there to the half, couple of charge downs, brilliantly read by James Cronin from the charge down, caught it cleanly, and then Tommy Rafel goes for the kick too. But yeah, good to see that man Will Muir back. How many stitches do you reckon? 16? It was a big cut, wasn't it?
Nasty business. But thoroughly committed to the cause, and of course he's had a long time out with injury, so he won't want to miss a single minute if he can help it. Russell to the air. Bassett backpedaling and judging it well. No scrum call.
Yeah, just a bit too much on that, isn't there? But no scrum call, no South African tactics here.
Bassett, oh, it's a scraggy one. Oh, it's worked out. It's worked out really well for him. Russell, I think, deciding that on that occasion, an attempt to gather was more than likely to draw the error.
Yeah, he was in two minds there. He didn't know whether to use his feet or try and get it with his hands, and consequently used neither.
No doubt, all part of the Bassett master plan. Charlie Ewells with the call, and it is Ewells to the tail, one-handed off. Redpath just delaying for an agonising fraction of a second, and the Tigers had a sniff.
Let's go.
This is for Muir to chase. And it's Bassett again who's onto it. And there's a little bit of a scuffle on the halfway. Tom Dunn and James Cronin just making sure that they've got each other's names and addresses for the Christmas card list.
Yeah.
Tom Dunn was raging that his top was pulled over his head. I would be as well when I played. No one wants to see that.
Not entirely sure what was that. Was
Sorry,
that
there's too many marks.
single spark?
My fault.
Like fighting in the darkness.
Maybe he's got a tattoo that he didn't want to show off.
So, Tiger scrum. And for all their endeavour, they've not really looked too threatening in attack. If they can build from here, start to ask some awkward questions of Bath, who of course come into this with 2 wins behind them, 2 bonus point wins. Big Bath scrum here, Tigers under the pump. Oof, the reset is the call from Jack Makepeace.
It's just gone round the mark. It's just literally spun on the mark. I think it's unfair to pin it on anyone.
Yeah, good referee. If in doubt, reset. I think a few England fans will be looking at that thinking, if only that happened a few weeks ago, or last weekend.
Let it go.
Here we go. Here we go. Yes, Thomas.
I actually thought the call was right with the knee down against Elish Genge, but obviously in that scenario there, Jack Makepeace just thought, reset, let's get on with it.
Yeah, slightly higher stakes out in France at that particular moment, weren't there? In goes the feed from Whiteley. And again, Bath coming on strong at scrum time, but Shilcock with enough time to punch this north.
In the time of 22.
Yeah, it's the right option from Shilcock, just came around the ball a bit. Straight down that man's throat. Matt Gallagher read it well. He's just got to be chasing over Cockenissinger there. Trying to push him back over and find the 50-22.
A lot of movement in the line out, but it always seems to end up in the arms of the same man, Hanro Liebenberg, who has been predominant at line-out time over the first couple of rounds. And they're getting a meaty drive together here off the back of it.
Hands on the ground. Hands on the ground.
Once.
Whiteley will play from here. Just has to try to extricate himself from the clutches of McNally, and that kick pretty much going straight up in the air and landing back with the scrum half. Has to just work that away to Liebenberg. And this is not terribly effective for Leicester right up until the whistle is blown.
Yeah, that's really dull from McAnally there. And then to back chat as well.
It's not a conversation. The person who's kicked the ball has also got the ball. It can't be offside.
There you go. Clear as you want from the referee.
Shot.
It was Whiteley that put the kick up, wasn't it? Everyone else got out the 10 and he won the ball back.
Bound, I've taken it out.
So he's bound in by your player.
I get that, but then I haven't even got the ball out and he stood there.
So he's
in my
still bound in, your player's got hold of him. He can't unbind himself, can he then?
I'm sure everyone did fully get out the 10, but that's really done from McAnally there to... you could hear Jack Makepeace saying no, no.
Marginal. I know people have got an opinion.
Steps over, picks the ball up when it's in the rock.
So
Can't do it.
that message. I've looked at everything else they've told me.
How costly will it prove? Shilcock with his 4th attempt of the day. From range in very testing conditions. Jamie Shilcock bringing his A-game this afternoon at the Rec, and the Tigers extend their slender advantage. Taken quickly, there's space in the backfield. That will hold up just in front of the try line, and once more, Shilcock is into action. Barbary now, with a chance to really build up a head of steam. Great work from Whiteley, just did enough. Reed. Raffel trying desperately to snaffle the turnover. Russell being manhandled. Thomas Dutoy. And a penalty.
Andy, you thinking points?
Yeah, you've got to take the 3 here. If you're Bath, close it back up to a 1-point ball game. But Tommy Raffel there, second man into the ruck. Referee Jack Makepeace had called ruck. He can't go in. As good as he is at turning ball over, he got a little bit too excited then. You just see tackle complete here. Liebenberg makes the tackle. Miles Reed's over the top. Maybe a little bit unlucky, but the referee had called ruck form, so you've got to get your hands off.
Ebb and flow at the wreck. Still hanging in the balance. There for someone to take it by the scruff. Johan van Graan assessing his options. The bench options will start to come into play before too long. Back within a point now. Barbary feeds Spencer. What a chase from Whiteley. Did an extraordinary job, but Buckner-Singer wriggles free. He's got some support to his right. Barbary was charging up in that 5-metre channel, but quick ball here could be damaging. Oh, another charge down. Russell's kick is blocked. Gathers one-handed. Runs into Brown, a little upright in the challenge, and that's going to be a penalty to Bath. Mike Brown has come off second best, I think.
Pretty alive, I've got him as falling, but the tackle's always upright, so I still be a penalty only.
Yeah, agree.
Perfect.
Well, he's so upright that Finn Russell heads into the upper part of his chest.
Yeah, it's no more than a penalty, is it? And you can see why the Bath fans want more, because there was collision. Finn's head went into his chest. Had it gone into his head, we might be having a different conversation, but you see Harry Wells as well. There's no force in it, is there?
Fortunately for Mike Brown, no. And obviously the tackle from Wells was bringing Russell down all the time. So in the meantime, line out on the 10-metre line. Half an hour to play, 1 point in it. Done over the top of McNally. It's Charlie Clare's ball. Another really strong defensive tackle made by Finn Russell. Out it comes for Shilcock. Gallagher comes in. It's wound up with Ewells and Gallagher. And the chase is on. Muir hurtling after this, and Shilcock doing a brilliant job. He has been outstanding today, turning up in all sorts of places to dig the Tigers out of a hole in amongst all the points from the boot. It's whacked away out of immediate danger, but Bath are feeling it now.
Yeah, they certainly are. Lovely little kick through there from Bath, though. Just enough for sort of a dribble on the ball that they had to keep chasing it back, but there was no fear of it going dead, putting Leicester under all kinds of pressure here.
Yeah, the counter-up was brilliant from Bath. You just saw the height that Josh Bassett was. So upright at the ruck, that invited the Bath players to get underneath him, pile through. The ball spills out, and then Tommy Raffel hacks one. What he thinks is going to go 60 metres down the touchline, but unfortunately for Leicester, and very fortunately for Bath, it gives them perfect field position now to launch a drive. and try and get the foothold in this Leicester 22.
Having to put himself about absolutely everywhere this afternoon. Very experienced player now, Jamie Shilcock, having spent all of those years at Worcester. Short time in Japan as well. Huge responsibility. And the Tigers have to be on red alert here. Tom Dunn has the ball tucked under his arm. He's got Muir for company now.
Start looking.
Only the second time Bath have been in the 22, ball in hand. And Dunn breaks away. He could do with some support here. Dutoit tries to drive through Hayes. He's done really well. Here's Abano. Explosive in the carry, as we know, but what a tackle that is from Liebenberg. Here's Barbary. Dunn again goes searching. Abano once more. Tigers doing everything in their powers to send those blue, black and white shirts backwards.
Stop shouting at me.
Inch by inch. Barbary again. He's made excellent ground. Lee Warner is close. Still the Tigers pile in. It's fallen for Abano. Oh, what's the decision here?
You've dived off your feet once on the floor. Off you go.
So Wells has gone to the bin.
Short. He's killed it.
He's killed the ball deliberately.
Top five. Off his feet.
Well, Goody, how close is that to a penalty try?
You're very close. I'm very surprised it's not a penalty try, to be fair. They asked the question of Jack Makepeace, but he said he just killed the pick and go. So round two, here we go.
Miles Reed sends it on its way, and they pile closer through Ewells. Just needing that extra little bit of muscle power.
Advantage.
One advantage given up.
One.
Ewells to Lee Warner. Spencer wants it.
Offside.
Well, they're playing with fire here, Leicester, aren't they?
They certainly are. I mean, you could see in the previous set, Finn Russell, the amount of times he had his arms in the air, seeing infringements, got told off by the referee for shouting what he was seeing. But there's been one yellow card. There's now a significant warning. I think they're getting close to another yellow if they keep playing like they are.
Here comes Dunn. Head down. Abano not too far away now. And a desperate scramble for that ball. Lee Warner has another dig. Barbary sizes it up. He's stopped at source. Another advantage given up. Penalty after penalty given up. And then the try. It had to come. Patience from Bath, paying dividends in the end. And it's the big man, Thomas Dutoit, on the scoreboard. First Premiership try for the South African. And Bath back in front at the Rec.
You could see that one building up, couldn't you? The amount of pressure that was piling on the Tigers, those repeated infringements, that sign of a team that are really getting stressed. They're getting challenged, they're getting tested. Full commitment there from the Bath players, following up on every carry. Finn Russell wasn't interested in that ball at all. He could see the momentum, he could see the pressure that they were putting the Tigers under, and eventually they come away with the try.
Yeah, it's something that's been questioned at Bath, hasn't it? They've got all the fancy dance stuff, but the hard yards are needed to win rugby games as well. And Thomas Dutoit there with the hardest of yards to finish off. And it's brave, wasn't it, to take the second tap penalty. Could have taken the easy 3 points to put themselves in the lead, but taking a bit of a risk with going for the tap penalty. And certainly has paid rewards with a 7-pointer.
First little bit of clear water between the sides. 18 points to 12 now, Bath in front. Tigers playing with 14. And even through the wind and the rain and the soaking conditions, the fans, always the fans here at the Rec. They've been with this side through thick and thin, and there's been a lot of thin.
Yeah, he's coming. Come on.
Off comes Fergus Lee Warner. Chris Klutek is on in his place in the back row for Bath. And somebody I'm guessing who will go toe-to-toe on the ground with Tommy Raffel. He is a limpist of the highest order.
I don't know.
Not exactly like for Lee Warner, but offering a very different sort of threat. Another of those trusted confidants of Johan van Graan from Munster days. Henderson with line-out ball for Leicester.
Go on, more.
McNally has to back off.
He's rotated round, number 4.
As a consequence of not listening to Jack Makepeace, the penalty.
You've gone round.
Shake his head and talk back to the referee all you want, but he was clear as day. Changed his mind. Clear instructions from Jack Makepeace, but as we know, Philippa, sometimes second rows don't listen, do they? It's just before then he changed his mind.
Yeah, he was given the warning.
Yeah, he was. Asked to get out.
And as we know, Shilcock has his radar dialed in this afternoon. This another very testing kick from 15 metres in from the left. Now this one is away.
Alistair
Algiers.
Alistair Eakin.
Sorry about that, Jamie. Might just to set you up.
Commentators curse galore.
Well, it's remarkable that is his first miss. Such has been the quality of his kicking and the filthy nature of the weather.
He's coming now.
The 6-point buffer remains.
Do you ever feel guilty as a commentator when you do that?
It's never my fault.
I used to blame you.
That's fair enough. Happy to be the punch bag if that's what's required. Gallagher.
Touched.
Once again, Whiteley with a staggering effort on the charge down. Oh, this might just work out. It's there, so tantalisingly close for Ben Spencer, who was hurtling after it. Goodness, the pressure was really strong, and he wasn't far away. He knows it.
What a counter-punch, though, from Bath. After conceding that penalty, straight away back into the attack.
Well, just smart to recognise that the ball had been touched in flight, therefore his chase from his position was entirely legal.
Yeah, it's a crazy law though, isn't it, when you think about it? You can be 40, 50 yards in front of the ball and potentially score a try, but brilliant play from Ben Spencer, knowing the laws.
Let's go.
And nearly having the deft touch. Just had the lead boots on, didn't it, to take it through.
Kind of ironic, if he'd managed to score there, the brilliance of the chase from Whiteley might inadvertently have led to one of the softest tries for Bath through Ben Spencer. It wasn't to be. Singer chasing hard, trying to put pressure on Brown. And Brown is through the first defender. Spencer brings him to ground.
Deep, stop in front.
Shilcock.
Yeah, on.
Once more to the skies. And Finn Russell has it. Where's the space? Shilcock composing himself, takes his time and finds an excellent touch, very much in keeping with the way he has managed things today.
That's you saying sorry, right, Ali? For that commentator's guy. It's brilliant kick, though. Composed. He's got strong left boot on him. He's guiding his team round well. Fortunately for Leicester fans at the minute, they're going to have to find a little bit more than just some kicks to touch, though. 6-point deficit in this weather. The rain is hurtling down again. 19 minutes to go. Leicester need to find something.
Certainly, the weather taking a turn for the worse again. Brilliant from Barbary running onto that at the tail.
Let's go.
This looks to be measured very nicely. And Hassel-Collins does well. Being driven back as well, the Tigers, with a strong counter-ruck through that first breakdown. Still another 90 seconds to play out on the Harry Wells
Right, off you go.
sin binning. So far, Tigers managing with 14 pretty effectively.
Hold them up.
And Brown, just the faintest hint of a slice. Not quite the distance he was after, and it's allowed the crowd on that far side to really get in behind their team from here. Operating in some pretty clutch moments now, aren't we? Just feel like we're in the guts of it.
Yeah, and it was a really good chase up there by the Bath player. Actually came round on an arc, so denying Mike Brown the opportunity to sort of take a better angle and play in field. He had to run towards the sideline, making it a really acute angle for him to clear off, which means he isn't going to get much distance. So really good defensive chase there.
Off comes James Cronin. And Francois van Veek onto the loose head side, deployed by Dan McKellar. Crucial moments these, crucial line-outs these, and it's a Barnow's ball. Scrappy affair, the set piece. Here's Barbary for Bath. Clung onto by Sam Carter, who's come onto the field, and just that tiny little handling error costing them so dear on the outskirts of the 22.
Been impressed with Alfie Barbary in the second half, especially. Some big carries in close quarter battles. He's got the tints in as well as in his hair. Moustache to go with it. Had a bit tough time with injury as well, hadn't he?
Horrible time of it. He's been out for so long, and many people who watch the Premiership regularly will remember the incredible impact he made on his very first Premiership start. He scored a hat-trick for Wasps against the Tigers, announced himself with a proper fanfare, and people who've followed him all the way through the age groups will recognise that he's been tailor-made for the big time for some time, and now, hopefully, free of injury worries, he has the platform to display his talents.
Yeah, we know he's got the big carries in him, but also in this weather, it's the close quarter stuff as well that I've been really impressed with. Little pick and goes, little drives, getting himself over that gain line, pumping the legs, just getting those 1-2 metres, not the glory runs that we have seen from him, because he's brilliant at those as well, but as a back row player, you need to play the game in all different ways and in all different conditions, and sometimes you just got to get your head down and truck it up hard, and he's done that well the second half of Bath and been a real focal point for them.
And you fully expect him to be front and centre of any New England post-World Cup.
Well, that's where I was just going to lead to. You know, he's young enough. You forget he plays quite a mature head on his head, but he's only 23, so he's got plenty of development. Dare I say, he could actually get even bigger.
Hassel-Collins deployed on the flank for the Tigers at scrum time in the absence of Wells. Whiteley's having a tough time at the base. This time it's blocked by Russell. Oh, tried to beat his man on the outside, and back goes Liebenberg. And just a little bit of a skirmish breaking out.
That's the Leicester Bath of old.
Got a first offence by Bath, 7 replacement.
I've got him up. No. It's a penalty your way as long as it stops.
So Chris Cloete is the man who's been singled out as the perpetrator of this crime.
Seven back started that, it's a penalty on the 5. 7 back started it, it's a penalty on the 5. Ben, no more. No more.
See the charge down from Finn there, and then just tries to nudge it past Mike Brown.
He ran in from distance.
He just drops on him there, doesn't he?
Sorry, you just searching them?
It's pulled off.
7. Oh,
And then he goes after Shilcock.
Seemed like anything that needed to spark quite such outrage, but there we are.
He dropped on him, that was the
He
offence.
dropped on, I think it was Liebenberg, wasn't it? He dropped on and then gets pulled off him by Shilcock. All much ado about nothing.
So Whiteley replaced by Joe Powell at scrum half for Leicester. There he is, the Australian international. Started the opening game at Ashton Gate in round 1. Didn't go terribly well at 9 and 10 for the Tigers that night. He's a key part of Dan McKellar's plans, and here he is feeding Shilcock. This is Ilione as well. Emeka Ilione. A lot of grand expectations for the young man in the back row. Super talent. Muir to Gallagher. 3 men bearing down on him. Shilcock.
It's outside. Been put on by 15.
And the kick tennis is resumed.
All the forwards.
We've basically got, 28 players stationary and 2 men kicking to each other. And then touches found.
And there's the cheer.
Well, it's hardly surprising, is it? If you are a member of the pack and you've been asked to shift it backwards and forwards for the best part of an hour and 5 minutes, if you have the opportunity to stand still for a while, you take it, don't you?
100%. I'd stand still if I was the kicker as well, just tell everyone else to chase. That's what I used to do, but I mean, it's the nature of the game with the weather. There's going to be a lot of this. There has been a lot of it. And it will continue for the last 14 minutes.
It's over the top from Dunn, and it's been swept up by Leicester. And they've won the penalty as Bath go beyond the ball. It's gone against Barbary. And a third line out that's not gone to plan from a Bath perspective. Again, it's within the Shilcock range. And we are right in the crux of things here.
Yeah, Dan McKellar pretty close to him here in the commentary box. He's pointing to the corner. The Leicester, that's where they've gone.
Going for the jugular.
They've had some reasonable drives in this second half at times. It's getting to the crux, isn't it, as you said.
6-point margin. Tigers sauntering into position. No great urgency here while the ball is dried off. Need to get every tiny detail right here. Charlie Clare.
Good work, George.
Sends it up. And once more it's to Liebenberg. And they start to get their drive on. It's an excellent one by the look of things. Bath can't handle it. Here come the Tigers at high speed. Too much power. Outstanding work from the Leicester pack. Every part of it was right. And they're right back in it again.
And a face full of mud there for Charlie Clare for his troubles. Do you know what? Bath actually are probably lucky that Leicester got the try, because it would have been a penalty try and definitely a yellow card for collapsing it. Abano was right on the edge of coming in the side and ruining it. But it's brilliant from Leicester. Tight. Sheer out. Absolutely take them to pieces here.
Behind the line.
And then Charlie Clare gets himself over.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Somewhere at the bottom of the pile was the Leicester hooker. And this,
Good job, Dixie.
for the Tigers' lead again. He's threaded it quite beautifully, Jamie Shilcock. And Leicester are in front. by 19 points to 18. The Gallagher Premiership just as we like it. Nip and tuck.
Needless to say now, discipline. This could be the turning factor. Finn Russell could go deep, could go short and high, get that challenge in early, go for possession, keep the ball, force a penalty.
12 minutes to play. Powell, oh no! An absolutely brutal moment for Joe Powell. Fresh off the back of their first try of the afternoon, he's dropped it in plain sight in the 22.
Yeah, Philippa, you talked about discipline. It comes in many different forms, doesn't it? Not just giving away penalties, but your simple basics, having the discipline to turn as you're catching the ball. He'll be frustrated. Will Powell? Just wonder what kicked off after that, if anything. Absolute coach killer though, that. McKellar, who was touch side, delighted with his forwards, and then unfortunately there's a good high hanging kick from Finn Russell. But reality, a real basic error.
Can Bath profit? Can they seize that moment? How full of belief are they off the back of their 2 wins to this point? A real test for this developing side. Options everywhere from this scrum. Spencer. Red path. The short pop. Jomo goes to ground. Now they can start to put the squeeze on with those close range carries. No need to rush it. Urgency, yes. Impetus, yes. But in these conditions, the handling's so key. Klute. Brought down by Ilione. Niall Annett sets it up. Here's Miles Reed. He's a little bit of extra drive. Ilione going close. And then the offside line breached.
Yeah, it's actually really clever from Ben Spencer. He's not dummying, but he's going down as if he's shaping to pass, dipping a shoulder, and that's inviting the Leicester defenders just to jump in front of the offside line. Really cute play from Ben Spencer. Just as he approaches the ball, that little dip of the shoulder as if he's about to pass. That's not what the penalty was for there. It's a couple of phases before, but using all his experience, Ben Spencer, to eke out that penalty, and this will be an easy 3 points for Finn Russell to put Bath back in front.
The rain pelting down. Russell, impervious to the weather, drives Bath in front again as the seesaw continues at the rack. Still plenty of time. Harder and harder the rain falls.
Wouldn't fancy being in that stand over there, would you, Al?
Oof. Proper waterproofs required on McNally's fumbled that. It's gone to ground, it's gone forwards. Knock-on advantage being played. Ilione for Leicester.
Make sure they get up.
Clare. Shilcock. Interesting option. And a big old chase back for Gallagher. Trapped 5 metres out. Under pressure from Hassel-Collins. And a big drive here from the Tigers. Looking to get over the ball. It's been stolen. And they're very, very close. And now they've knocked it. Falls. No, it's been knocked backwards in the eyes of the referee. Another really marginal call. And somehow or other, Bath have got it.
Let's go, Ben.
Proper rugby this, isn't it?
On the floor.
The clearance gives Bath some respite. It's an excellent clearance from the skipper.
Yeah, ridiculously good from Ben Spencer as he urges the crowd on, who are absolutely drenched in that open stand. The counter rock comes in from Leicester. A lot of the backs pile in there. They get that turnover after winning it. There's the ball spill. And then as it's open play, it's anyone's ball. And there's a few happy faces in that stand, isn't there?
I mean, you can't fault the work ethic of Leicester then to chase up on what was not the best kick. They flooded that with bodies.
And that's not straight.
He's knocked it on.
Oh no, it's been knocked forwards by Bath.
You got
and
up, you touched the ball, it went forward.
Well, it was very clear in the eyes of Jack Makepeace.
Yeah, four.
All the Bath players are looking around and wondering whose fingers it touched.
No, it's gone forward, honestly.
Well, it technically was, what, Miles Reed's, was it? Certainly that's the way the referee saw it. So, further time to dig in here as McNally comes off. And Ewan Richards takes his place. 6 minutes to play. 2 points in it. And no sign of this horrible weather abating anytime soon. This is going to be hard fought, hard won. And turning on one moment, you would suggest, from here.
Just wonder whether Leicester are going to go for the double shunt here and try and eke out a penalty.
Very solid. Tigers back hoping for a full-blown penalty. Powell is being called to use it. Here's Kelly. Liebenberg screaming for support on that open side. And across comes Cam Henderson. Rafael.
The problem is now Leicester have lost all momentum, haven't they? They have won a penalty.
The offside line was broken there. Just one slightly overexcited defender in the form of Chris Cloete. And Shilcott takes the ball and assesses the options. Goodness, what's he going to do? He's off. Okay.
He's got to go for a shot.
Yeah, there was a moment there, Philippa, was there not?
There was a little walking around, yeah, but no, he's got to go for the shot. But frustration there for the Bath fans. I mean, like you mentioned, Goody, you know, Leicester had lost all their shape then in attack. It wouldn't have been a hard defensive set. It's one-on-one tackles. There was no misdirection. There was no behind-the-gate runners. You just had to stay connected in a defensive structure. And someone's got a bit hot-headed, trying to be the hero and giving away the penalty.
Yeah, I wonder if Chris Cloete is a bit pumped up for tonight's game. A couple of hours early, pal.
Got to pace yourself on a day like today. This is huge. Huge for Shilcott. Huge for Leicester. Clean strike. He turns. He likes it. Tigers love it. And with 4 minutes to play, they're the ones with their noses in front. Jamie Shilcock exemplary today. Cloete punished. Van Graan edgy.
What a kick from Shilcock. Now you've got to get the kick-off right. Over to the skipper. Hanro Liebenberg there. Can't speak highly enough of Jamie Shilcock for that nudge.
And now the requirement to exit, and the Bath attempts to spoil and steal.
Let's go.
Powell keeps it in field. It's with Gallagher. They will have another shot here, Bath. Skips past Bassett and beyond the 10-metre line. They're within range, within firing distance at the very least. Russell maybe holding the key. Little dab forwards. Oh, Cam Redpath looks to have been blocked as he charged through. But Tigers recover inside the 22. Russell is taking a while to get to his feet. Cam Redpath looking a bit ginger as well. In the meantime, Leicester with that precious commodity.
Let's go.
Possession. And Powell this time finds the stands. Clock ticking down, but this collision in the midfield from that chip through was an interesting one.
Yeah, actually, I think Powell's very lucky there. Very lucky indeed. Shoulder. There's a couple of them actually. Tommy Rafael leaves his shoulder on Cam Redpath as well. But
Jack,
that man.
I've got foul play by Green 9.
Here we go.
It's a late, no arms on the kicker.
The voice you can hear.
Blue 10. It's a PK only.
It's a PK only, so he's just bumped him off the ball basically. Like
Yeah, took him off the ball. The other one on Cam Redpath, he just stood his ground, didn't change his line, so that's okay.
Okay, so he just got a penalty in midfield.
Against Green 21.
Yeah. Say again?
So
I'll get you them. I'll get you them.
well, everything could turn on this.
No, we don't need to see it. It's a penalty only.
So that is soft.
It's not a
Hanra Liebenberg knows it. That's why he's arguing the toss.
That is crazy from Joe Powell, isn't it? Absolute madness. No need for it whatsoever.
Put him. No, you're not the kicker.
You could have cost your team the game, and actually it is supposed to be from where the ball bounces, where it landed.
He's not against that person.
Well, it is though. That's where the referee's wrong here, because it is the penalty is against.
It's on the screen now, Jack. It's there.
It's for taking out Finn Russell, so it's where the ball lands.
So it's a late charge kick.
So it's going to be bang in front of the post, 25 metres out.
Yeah, and we got the right process in the end and the right result.
By about a metre and a half.
And just listen to the rack now.
Stop that.
Soaking wet. Every one of them drenched to the core. And that call, a huge one, going against Joe Powell.
It's about where 10 is now.
And everything lies in the hands of Finn Russell, or rather the feet of Finn Russell. Dan McKellar can barely bring himself to watch.
Finn. See ya, sorry.
Oh, hello.
We're just going to show you where it bounces to get it absolutely right.
Yeah,
they're trying to pinpoint this exact area.
Just restart the shot clock, Mark.
To my mind, it's a bit more central than where they're located.
We're not seeing anything.
Okay, it's about 3 or 4 metres directly in front of the post, 3 or 4 metres behind the 22.
He's too far wide, isn't he?
So we are. Finn, Finn.
It's a bit more central this way, where you are
This is
now.
comedy. This is TMOs and referees. We need to be better. We really do.
Every decision that's made to march Bath further upfield and further infield, the pressure grows, the excitement builds, and Finn Russell knows this is his moment.
The other thing is, we've just lost 30 seconds of the game as well by the TMO and the referee moving him 3 times, so reset the clock as well.
Over to you, Finn. Necessary. Finn Russell for Bath, and less than a minute to survive. Agonising moments for Joe Powell, and for the Tigers who fought so hard today. Have they got one last moment left in them? Oh, it's been spilled in the 22, and one further opportunity for the Leicester Tigers. Absolute agony here.
Your players gathered it.
As Jaco Kutsia takes his eyes off the ball at the critical moment. Goodness, what drama.
Well, the Leicester players are asking, I think it was Miles Reid, was he in front of the knock-on when he played the ball? He didn't, he tackled Rafael. So it's all down to this scrum. Leicester, will they go for a double shunt? Will it be passed back to Jamie Shilcock to maybe kick a penalty? Or are Bath going to hold strong? What a finish we've had. The rain's come down all afternoon. Well, we've got some drama.
Well, it's been a foul day from a weather perspective. It's been a proper dogfight, but it's been everything you could wish for in these circumstances. So compelling, and everything hinging on this next play with the clock deep in the red. What have the Tigers got? They got a penalty from the scrum. Powell to Kelly to Shilcock. Cross-field they go. And the challenge is on, and it's gone forwards from Matt Gallagher.
Tired.
And Mike Brown can't gather it in. Tigers won't mind. The penalty is secure. The ground has been churned. And there will be one final twist, whichever way you cut it.
What are you thinking, go for the corner? 100% not.
A tale of the tens.
It has been. Ali, just hold your voice now.
I'm saying nothing. Jan van Graan thinks it's done. Jamie Shilcock holds this game in the balance right now. 6 from 7 so far today. He's landed it! Tigers have it! A big, fat, wet win away from home. Huge in the context of their season. A first ever Premiership victory for Dan McKellar. They're off the bottom of the table and they've sunk Bath. They've sunk them at a wet wreck. And Jamie Shilcock has delivered the killer blow. Fantastic drama, great entertainment, full time. Bath 24, Leicester 25.